Can you believe it? Mahito might actually be coming back. And not just coming back. He could be facing off against an older, deadlier Yuji Itadori in what might become the most intense rematch in Jujutsu Kaisen history. Yeah, you heard that right. After everything that went down in the original series, after Yuji basically erased Mahito's existence with that final Black Flash, fans thought we were done with this twisted curse forever. But Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo just dropped some absolutely wild hints that have the entire fandom losing their minds. We're talking about curse reincarnation, decades-long timelines, and an adult Yuji who looks like he's been hunting curses for years. The question everyone's asking now is simple but huge. When will Mahito return, and what kind of epic showdown are we about to witness? Because if there's one thing JJK fans know, it's that unfinished business between a sorcerer and a curse never stays buried. Mahito represented everything evil about curses. The cruelty, the mockery of human life, the absolute disregard for suffering. And Yuji? He's the guy who refused to let Mahito's philosophy win. So imagine these two clashing again, but this time with years of experience, new abilities, and stakes even higher than before. The alien war storyline in Modulo has already changed everything we thought we knew about the JJK universe, and now this. Gege Akutami really knows how to keep us hooked. Yeah, so let's dive into the theory that's got everyone talking and figure out exactly when and how this legendary battle might actually happen. Alright, so let's break down what's actually happening in Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo that's got fans connecting these dots. In Chapter 7, we got our first real glimpse of what looks like Mahito, or at least a curse that shares his twisted characteristics. The visual similarities alone sent shockwaves through the community. Same unsettling vibe, same mockery in those eyes. But here's where it gets interesting. We also saw panels featuring an older Yuji Itadori, looking way more battle-hardened and intense than the high schooler we knew from the original manga. This isn't the same kid who struggled with his identity and purpose. This is a grown man who's clearly been through decades of curse battles and survived the absolute chaos of the alien invasion era. Now, you might be wondering how curse reincarnation even works in the JJK universe. Great question. Throughout the original series, we learned that curses don't really die permanently. They get exorcised, sure, but the negative emotions that created them in the first place keep building up in humanity. Given enough time, those same fears and hatreds can birth similar curses or even resurrect the same entities in new forms. It's like a horrible cycle that sorcerers can never fully escape. The manga has dropped hints about this through various arcs, especially when discussing special grade curses and their unique natures. Mahito, being a curse born from humanity's hatred of other humans, represents something fundamental and dark about human nature itself. That kind of curse energy doesn't just vanish. Fan theories have been going absolutely wild, trying to calculate exactly how long curse reincarnation takes. Some point to real-world mythology that JJK draws from, concepts like samsara and rebirth cycles from Buddhist philosophy. Others reference the Sukuna twin theory and how curse evolution seems to follow generational patterns. The consensus seems to be landing somewhere between 15 and 30 years for a powerful curse like Mahito to potentially return. And guess what? The timeline in Modulo, set decades after the original series, fits perfectly into that window. What makes this even more compelling is Yuji's apparent status in this new era. He's not just surviving, he's become something of a legendary curse hunter. Multiple background details in Modulo suggest that Yuji spent years, maybe decades, tracking and eliminating curses across this new alien-influenced world. The way he's drawn in those panels, the scars, the confidence in his stance. This is someone who's mastered his craft. And if you're the ultimate curse hunter in the JJK universe, wouldn't hunting down your greatest enemy's reincarnation be the perfect final mission? Let's talk about why this potential clash matters so much, and what it could mean for the entire Jujutsu Kaisen legacy. First major point. The thematic perfection of bringing Mahito back specifically to face an experienced Yuji. Their original conflict wasn't just about power levels or cool fight choreography, it was philosophical warfare. Mahito believed humans were worthless, that their souls were just toys for curses to manipulate and destroy. Yuji represented the opposite. The stubborn insistence that every life has value, that human existence matters despite all its flaws and suffering. When Yuji finally took Mahito down, it wasn't just a physical victory, it was a rejection of everything Mahito stood for. But here's the thing. Did that philosophy actually die? Bringing Mahito back now, decades later, forces Yuji to confront that question again. Has humanity proven its worth in this new alien war era? After everything Yuji's witnessed and survived, does he still hold those same beliefs? That's the kind of character depth that makes JJK special. Second point, the power scaling implications are absolutely insane. Original series Mahito was already terrifying with idol transfiguration, a technique that let him reshape souls and bodies at will. He could kill you with a single touch, transform humans into monsters, and even evolved during his fight with Yuji and Todo. Now imagine Mahito reincarnated with decades of accumulated curse energy and potentially new abilities learned from the strange environment of the alien war era. But here's the exciting part. Yuji isn't that same struggling student anymore either. An older Yuji who's been hunting curses for decades would have refined his cursed energy manipulation to unbelievable levels. His black flash accuracy, his combat instincts, maybe even new techniques developed specifically for curse elimination. We're talking about two entities at the absolute peak of their potential, finally getting the rematch that was always meant to happen. The original fight was brutal and emotional, but this one could be legendary. Third point, the lore implications for curse reincarnation itself. If Mahito really is coming back through some natural curse rebirth cycle, it confirms something massive about the JJK universe, that the curse problem can never truly be solved. Sorcerers can fight and exercise and sacrifice themselves for generations, but as long as humanity exists with all its fears and hatred, curses will keep returning. That's dark, but it's also deeply thematic for the series. Yuji's entire journey has been about finding meaning and purpose in a world where suffering seems endless. Facing Mahito's return would be the ultimate test of that resolve. Can you keep fighting when you know the enemy will just come back eventually? What does victory even mean in that context? Fourth point, what this means for Modulo's future and fan excitement. The alien invasion storyline already expanded the JJK universe in wild new directions. But bringing back Mahito creates this perfect bridge between the original series and the new era. It's fan service done right. Not just nostalgia bait, but a meaningful continuation of unfinished narrative threads. Fans have been theorizing about this matchup for years, imagining what an experienced Yuji versus a reborn Mahito would look like. The hype around this potential fight is absolutely real. Social media is exploding with speculation about what techniques they'll use, what the stakes will be, and whether Yuji will deliver that final lesson he promised Mahito about the value of human life. So, what's the verdict? All signs point to this clash actually happening, and it could be the defining moment of the Modulo series. The curse reincarnation timeline makes sense, the character development is perfectly positioned, and thematically it's exactly the kind of confrontation that would bring Yuji's arc full circle. Whether Mahito returns as himself or as some evolved version doesn't really matter. What matters is that final philosophical battle between curse and human, between nihilism and meaning. And honestly, we can't wait to see how it all goes down. What do you think Yuji's final move will be? Will he show mercy or deliver absolute destruction this time around? The wait for confirmation is brutal, but that's what makes being a JJK fan so incredible. The theories, the speculation, the shared excitement for what's coming next. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.